light, trying to bring jobs and opportunity to the communities who desperately need them has been one of my biggest fights, except for the fight I got into with the squirrel. You can laugh about that. But with that said, I believe, like the mayor believes, that the greatest deterrent to crime is having a job.
You can clap for that.
And that the studies have shown that the safest place for the youth are in school, and I would say anecdotally also if they are at work. And so to announce a program today that the mayor is going to roll out that helps keep our citizens safe and our youth safe is of paramount importance to all 50 of the aldermen, but everybody in the city who knows somebody who loves someone or who just really loves this city. And so with that said, I want to bring a champion for jobs, economic development, and for the youth. And without further ado, a giant, despite her stature, Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Thank you, Alderman Brookins. I used to work for a elected official who, like me, was vertically challenged, and he would say, "You measure character from the chin up," which I agree with. Thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon. And I will say, if you haven't poked your head into that gym to see those kids who are so excited, both the older kids who are acting as mentors and a day of service, but also the younger kids who are excited to be here. You need a little boost of energy. Poke your head in there and watch what's going on. And this is what really we're here to be about. Let me also acknowledge some other folks that are here. I want to acknowledge Tracy Scott, our great CEO of the Chicago Housing Authority. I want to recognize Rachel Arfa, who is our commissioner of the mayor's office, people with disabilities, and there are a number of people who will introduce themselves as they come. Today is as CPS families begin spring break, I'm excited to highlight a variety of city youth-focused programs to keep our young people and our young adults engaged, inspired, and learning not only through spring break, but really this summer. As you can see by the many leaders who are here today from several of our city departments and agencies, as well as communities, we are all in when it comes to investing in our children and our young people. And one of the biggest champions for Chicago's children is my wife, First Lady Amy Eshelman, who is here with us today. If you know anything about her story, whether it was her 19 years at Chicago Public Library and since, what she has been about in her life's work is creating safe spaces for young people to explore and develop their passions in their out-of-school times. And Amy has been the primary champion of My Shy, My Future, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But why don't you stand and let's give you a little applause, So I begin today with the exciting reminder that we are striving to return to normal this summer. I've told my team this must be a summer of joy for all of Chicago because of what we've been through, but because of the sacrifices that we've made. We have the ability to dream about a summer of joy and getting us closer to whatever our new normal is. And it's got to be a summer of joy for our youth, where they are reminded that we care about them, we care about their futures, and that as a city, we've got their backs. All the young people and adults in their lives talk constantly about how much our young people have been through these past couple of years, with many of their in-school and out-of-school activities either fragmented, reduced substantially, or canceled outright. Last year, many of our summer opportunities were still virtual or hybrid. But this summer, all city programming will be in person with no capacity limits. Programs and spaces designed to help children and youth explore their passions, connect with peers and caring adults, and expand their ideas about what is possible are fundamental building blocks on the pathway to success, and we can't start too soon in a child's life to put them on that path. I heard directly recently from over 150 young people at our community safety town hall focus on youth, and they lifted up the importance of making sure that all of our children from across the city, children and young adults, are connected to positive experiences and job opportunities, and that's what today's series of announcements is all about. So let me start with One Summer, One Chicago. The 2022 One Summer, One Chicago application has been launched and is now open. This signature jobs program has been enhanced in 3 important ways that I want to highlight today. First, we know that summer jobs make a difference. They are meaningful and impactful. They provide young people with the opportunity to explore possible career pathways and to reinforce basic skills that they need regarding readiness, like showing up on time, working hard, among many other skills. And this year, we are giving our youth an extra support by ensuring that young people have access to a career coach who can support that skill development and ensure their success on the job. This is a big deal. Second, we know that summer jobs count literally in terms of the dollars that young people are paid. That's in part why we are investing tens of millions of dollars in youth programming this summer, and specifically our 14 to 24-year-olds will be offered the city's minimum wage of $15 an hour. And if a young person completes the whole weeks that they can for summer employment, that's $1,800 extra dollars in their pockets. Young people need good wages just as much as adults do. Teens and young adults can put this money towards their household expenses, college expenses, and helping them along their way to success. And we know that many of our teams, particularly given the hardship that families have endured over these last 2 years, that many of them are directly responsible for bringing in income to put food on their families' tables, help with the expenses, and this money will help with that as well. So making sure that our young people are paid the minimum wage is fair, is equitable, and is a big deal for them and their families. Finally, for the first time, we are prioritizing youth who face special challenges in accessing our summer jobs programming by mounting an aggressive outreach campaign to reach them and their families. We do not want any young person who needs a job this summer not to be able to access it because of the digital divide or other barriers that might keep them back from being able to apply and take advantage of these opportunities. Some of us may take for granted what it takes to apply for a summer job. I can remember when I was a young person, it was just word of mouth, and you had to be lucky to hear in time before the deadline closed to be able to get one of those jobs. I was a CETA kid for a couple of summers. Youth and families that are less connected to our schools, parks, and libraries are less likely to know about and have the time to walk through all of the steps it takes to complete an application. We do not want that to be a barrier. So, in partnership with CPS and community partners, we are putting in the work, the extra work, to meet these less connected young people and their families where they are and make sure that they have everything that they need to get a good paying summer job. So call it relentless engagement. Focus on youth who are criminal justice involved, in the foster care system, disabled, and others. We want to ensure that the digital divide and other barriers don't prevent these young people from, particularly these kids that are most in need, from getting a good job this summer. Again, applications for One Summer Chicago 2022 are now open at onesummerchicago.org. That's onesummerchicago.org. And folks, the easiest thing to do, if you don't know where to find it, just call 311 and they will get you connected. Another important announcement is that the Summer Youth Service Corps is expanding from summer programming to year-round programming. Through a $29.3 million investment, the Chicago Youth Service Corps is providing youth and young adults between the ages of 16 and 24 paying opportunities that support city projects, giving participants leadership skills and empowering a service mindset. The Chicago Youth Services Corps was created, as you may remember, in the midst of the pandemic, in response to young people wanting to help their communities through this global crisis. Youth from every single ward of our city are represented in the Corps. In 2020, Corps members devoted their summers to hyperlocal projects that had immediate impact. For example, in Little Village, they made and distributed masks. In Austin, they created a podcast to reach residents and share information about COVID. This signature civic engagement program is now expanding to provide youth with a year of community service opportunity that strengthens their neighborhoods. Also, applications for the Chicago Youth Services Corps are also open at CYSC. That's Chicago Youth Services Corps, cysc.myshy.myfuture.org. That's cysc.myshy.myfuture.org. All of the city's efforts to engage and support youth fall under my administration's signature initiative, My Shy, My Future. And its champion, Amy Eshelman, the First Lady, is all about making sure that we bring a focused to centralizing information and opportunities for our young people under the My Shy, My Future banner. So I also have some other news to share. My Shy, My Future Spring Forward campaign began this past weekend and provides hundreds of enrichment opportunities throughout this week of CPS's spring break to keep young people engaged and safe during CPS's spring break. Youth and young adults ages 24 and under will be able to participate in service projects, including food giveaways, park cleanups, and community gardening. And folks, I should tell you that the planning for this week started months ago. So the activations that you're seeing around Chicago, in parks, around schools, in libraries, that is all the hard work that has been done weeks in the making, and we're excited about the opportunities to keep our young people engaged over the course of this spring break. I had the opportunity, as I mentioned, to meet with some young people here in this park to do a day of service, and they're working with the younger kids just to have fun. They're doing gymnastics, they're playing basketball, they are doing arts and crafts, and this is what we want to do to keep our young people active and engaged. So I want to, again, thank the folks here at Foster Park and at parks and libraries all across the city and other community stakeholders who understand the importance of getting our young people engaged, particularly in their out-of-school time. This week's programming will culminate in the Spring Forward Teen Bash on Saturday, this coming Saturday, April 16th at Navy Pier, because we want our youth to know that the city and all of its treasures are theirs too. Youth, young adults, as well as caring adults in their lives can visit myshy.myfuture.org to find events like this that are happening all across the city this week that include learning experiences, job opportunities, resources, and more. Now, you may have thought, okay, the mayor's talked about a number of different things, but I've got one more thing that I want to talk to you about. Many city departments are continuing their own youth-focused supports and programs. CPS is partnering with local community-based organizations to expand summer school program. CDPH, the Chicago Department of Public Health, is bringing back play streets, encouraging youth and families to stay active and healthy this summer. CDI, Green Corps youth programs, introduces young people to careers in service and environmental sustainability. And there are many, many other programs that our city leaders here will talk about in more detail. But the bottom line is this. We want our young people to literally have tens of thousands of opportunities throughout the summer, most of them paying, so that they can earn a little cash, enhance their skill set, and be active, engaged, following their passions. All in, we want our young people to know, and their families, that the city supports them and that we are invested in their future, their development, and their success. They will also ensure that the summer of 2022 is a summer of joy for all of our young people. Meaningful connections, opportunity, and violence prevention strategies are all intertwined. We have to be consistently and positively present in the lives of our children and our young people. We've got to show the young people that all that they can be and introduce them to everything that the world has to offer right here in their own city. Everyone, whether it's a parent or caregiver, has a stake in the health and well-being of our children. So today I challenge any adult who cares for a child, a teen, or a young adult to make sure that the children in your lives have something great to do this summer. Make a plan now. We are opening up a bounty of opportunities, and we want to make sure that there is no child, no young adult in this city who doesn't have something positive to do this summer. Whether it's a job, whether it's recreation, or all of the above, there's no reason why our young people can't be fully engaged in positive opportunities this summer. And if you, again, have any question about it, go to myshinymyfuture.org or call 311. There are opportunities happening virtually every neighborhood in this city. There's no reason why our young people cannot have a fantastic and safe summer. So, the adults in the lives of our young people, I'm going to say it again, make a plan. No time like the present. Go to myshinymyfuture.org and you'll find plenty of opportunity. So with that, I'd like to introduce one of our Spring Forward participants, Jemiah, to say a few words. Come on up. Give her a hand. You'll do great.
Hi, my name is Jemiah Hamilton, and I'm here representing O'Highlands Park District Leadership Program. Team Leadership is a free program where teens can socialize with their peers and give back to the community. We are here today for Mayor Lightfoot's. Okay. We are here today for a day of service. Okay. We are here today for Mayor Lightfoot's Day of Service. Oh, I'm so sorry. We are here today for a Mayor Lightfoot's Day of Service to give back to the community during spring break. We love that Park Districts provide us with so many events and activities for us to do, like the Spring Teen Bash Party this Saturday at Navy Pier. Thank you, that's all, and thank you for coming.
First, I want to say to Jemiah, thank you so much for telling us about Spring Bash. You did a wonderful job. And to Mayor Lightfoot, let's give Jemiah a hand. And to Mayor Lightfoot and Alderman Brookins, just thank you both for being a champion for our young people. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Brandy Kanazi, and it is my honor and pleasure to lead the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. I am delighted to be here today to talk with you about One Summer Chicago and the opportunity that it represents for thousands of young people across our city. Over the past several weeks, I've had the pleasure of connecting with residents alongside Mayor Lightfoot and other city leaders through a series of community safety town halls. I heard from individuals from all over the city and all age ranges, and they all underscored a need to keep young people safe and engaged. As Commissioner of DFSS, I take those perspectives to heart, and I agree. Investing in our young people is a long-term investment into the future of our city. as we open up thousands of opportunities provided by One Summer Chicago. We believe these are connections necessary to support our youth as they find inspiration that can change their lives for forever. Over 80% of the Chicago Youth Service Corps participants last year felt that they had made a real impact in their communities. Now these young people will earn $15 an hour as they develop civic leadership skills and make real impacts throughout the year. And for those that are 14 and 15 years old, our young people who just aren't quite old enough to work, we're excited to announce the return of the Chicago Ability Career Exploration Program. Over the course of a 6-week period, young people will engage with professionals from different sectors through field trips, training, and project-based experiences. This program will provide a weekly stipend totaling $450 for the summer, allowing young people to earn while they learn. And as we continue to connect with residents and hear what we believe will make the most impact in your communities, we are also expanding the developed youth-led summer kickback series. This is a chance for Chicago youth to take the lead through event planning and designing community activities that allow their friends to kick back and enjoy one another in safe and productive ways. Once again, thanks to Mayor Lightfoot for this $11.2 million investment. In addition, through our citywide collaboration efforts, we're allowing young people to explore opportunities at city departments and sister agencies, including the Chicago Park District. We've got Chicago Public Schools, as well as the Chicago Housing Authority and the Transit Authority. This summer, in collaboration with our private, public, and nonprofit partners, we are thrilled to have over 15,000 paid opportunities available for youth ages 14 to 24 years old. As Mayor Lightfoot said, we are really happy to announce the return of in-person programming for our young people. Throughout the summer youth employment program, our young people will have a chance to learn the in and outs of potential career paths from professionals in tech, healthcare, media, and more. Thanks to Mayor Lightfoot's $24.2 million investment in youth programming, these opportunities will further support young people age 16 and older with an investment of $15 an hour in their earnings. This is really important as we think about raising the wages that our young people are able to provide. And as I said, for those young people that see a future in public service and social change, we are proud to announce the expansion of the Chicago Youth Service Corps to $29.2 million. And this is really important because this citywide civic engagement leadership program really allows young people to think about what are the needs in their own communities, right? And so when we look at what young people did last summer, they really supported issues around housing insecurity, food insecurity, as well as systematic racism. And so through this program, they'll be able to do this over the course of 40 weeks. Furthering our commitment to equitable access to opportunity, at least 50% of One Summer Chicago participants will represent one of our focused populations, which includes individuals who are justice involved, young people that are housing insecure, disabled, in the foster care system, or in and out of school. OSC One Summer Chicago is more than just something to do. It is a critical investment in the future of our city. Previous reports from the University of Chicago's Urban Labs found that One Summer Chicago's youth employment program reduced violent crime by 43% over 16 months. One Summer Chicago 2022 begins July 5th, which is a Tuesday, and will conclude on Friday, August 12th. The applications are now available online at onesummerchicago.org. I'll say that a little slower, onesummerchicago.org. Through the amazing work of our staff, our partners, our youth programming continues to maximize life-changing opportunities for Chicago's emerging workforce. The future of our city is right in front of us, and I am proud to say the future looks bright, and as the mayor said, we will have a joyful summer. We thank Mayor Lightfoot and all of our partners for their steadfast resolve to make summer jobs a priority in Chicago. And we are excited to kick off summer programming on July 5th. I would like now to invite Farrah Tunks, the Central Regional Director for the Chicago Park District. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kanazi. As she said, hello everyone, good afternoon, and welcome to Foster Park. I am Farrah Tunks, Regional Director with the Chicago Park District. I'd like to start by inviting all of the youth that's staying in Chicago for their spring break to spend it with us at the parks. It may not feel like spring, but the Chicago Park District is hosting spring break camps, which kicked off today across the city. We're featuring activities, sports, arts, and crafts for the Chicago youth throughout the end of the week. Slots are still available. We're also excited to highlight a few unique jobs for which we are currently hiring with the Chicago Park District. One summer jobs opportunities are open to Chicago residents ages 16 and older and give teens and young adults a chance to earn a competitive wage, engage in fulfilling work, gain experience for future careers, and contribute to the health and well-being of the community in which they work. This summer, we nearly filled 2,100 seasonal positions, including recreational leaders, lifeguards, and junior laborers. Recreational leaders are essential in providing teens and young adults with daily access to enriched camps, group activities, while keeping campers very active, engaged, and safe during their summer breaks. Lifeguards provide a vital service to Chicagoans and visitors at pools and beaches citywide. We are currently hiring 500 lifeguards to safeguard beaches and pools during their busiest season, the summer, which I know we all can't wait to get here. To keep our parks looking pristine, it takes a hard-working crew, which is supported by our junior laborers during the summer months. Most positions don't require previous experience or special skills, and they provide the invaluable rewards of civic engagement. As adults, we all know that keeping our young people involved in productive activities is critical to healthy development. And making competitive wages for young adults is an added bonus. Chicago Park's seasonal positions also offer a great experience for those entering the workforce. The entire listing of available jobs can be found on our website, Chicago Park District/jobs. We encourage you to apply and become a part of the greatest park system in the nation. Thank you. Mr. Commissioner Brown is next.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Library Commissioner Chris Brown. I'm thrilled to be sharing with you how our city libraries are offering opportunities for youth all summer long. With our Summer Learning Challenge, where we promote discovery and learning, where Chicagoans read over 20 million minutes every year. And of course, for our students, these are more important than ever as they've spent the last 2 years in pandemic learning. This year's theme is City of Stories, where Chicagoans of all ages will enjoy programs and events, whether it's spoken word, the written word, art making, digital media production, and all of that happening at their neighborhood library. Along with our popular activity guide, which this year again features a family pass to the Chicago Art Institute, so families can take the whole gang over to the Art Institute. And this year we have an exciting new addition, what we're calling Culture in Our Neighborhoods, thanks to a partnership with the department, with DCASE, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, and with the Chicago Parks District. We'll be offering art and cultural programs all throughout our city in our neighborhood libraries. Thanks to generous philanthropic support through the Chicago Public Library Foundation and civic groups around the city, Chicagoans of all ages will have opportunities to celebrate their stories and explore how sharing stories bring us together. Kids, of course, the library is where they get to choose what they want to learn. And as we know, parents are our first teachers for our kids. So we encourage all parents and family members to join in and remind our kids that readers are leaders. For teens, we'll be supporting them at our libraries with employment opportunities and volunteer opportunities in partnership with After School Matters, with One Summer Chicago, as well as through our junior volunteer program. And teens can connect to our Meet You Media spaces in 27 locations where they can explore podcasting, gaming, beat, and music making. Like parks and schools, our libraries are community hubs and heartbeats of our neighborhoods. And thanks to Mayor Lightfoot, they are now open 7 days a week, including Sundays, so that every day this summer, all year long as well, can be a day for discovery and learning. So thank you, Mayor Lightfoot. I'd now like to welcome one of our summer kickback participants, Denari Bowden. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. My name is Denari Bowden. I recently turned 17 this weekend, and I am a part of the Shy Rise program. What impact did this program have on me? The Shy Rise program has had a constructive, powerful, loving, and positive impact on not just me, but the teens, youth, and elderly in this community. It is crucial to have summer programs like the Summer Kickback Series because it keeps food in everyone's stomach, keeps the sound of laughter soaring, keeps the loving feeling through the air and spreading unto others, keeps the teens of Chicago off the streets and doing something productive versus the opposite. It also provides for everyone and gives everyone a feeling of a new opportunity or a chance to change for the better. On my behalf, the Shy Rise Kickback has been beneficial to me because I recently obtained my driver's license, and this program has provided me with enough money in my pockets to get what I desire to have. Shy Rise has helped me enhance myself overall, become a more laureate speaker, happier emotionally, stronger physically, and many other great things. I also have a non-for-profit, and this program has provided me with enough information to see how it would be to run an operation. I do not think I would be where I am now if this program didn't happen, especially in the streets of Chicago where teens continuously lose loved ones, best friends, having home issues with no one to talk to, call out to help to, having no money to get their needs. I said, this program is clear as day that it's a necessity. I believe it is very crucial and necessary for programs like this to be active for as long as possible. This program makes the impossible guaranteed. I would like to give a special shout out to the mayor, the first lady, my future, Shy Rise, and everyone else here in the room for making this happen. Thank you.
Let me also just add a couple of other points before I take your questions. In this city, we often focus on, too often, in my view, what's not working, what's not right. And what you saw today is two young people overcoming a lot of nerves, because it's hard to get up and speak in front of a bank of cameras, but they are emblematic of the vast majority of our children in this city. They are smart, they are curious, and what they need is for us as adults to stand up and support them. Another point that I hope doesn't get missed is this. There are so many touch points along the arc of a child's life, of course starting with the family, but it immediately extends to school, to parks, to libraries, and other places. And what we are trying to do in a coordinated way is make sure that there is no wrong door, as Dr. Arty would say, that there is no wrong door for which they can enter. We've got to be better coordinated as a city, and I think we are absolutely well on our way. But that also means that we've got to be more in concert with our community partners so that kids don't fall through the proverbial cracks. And we're well on our way to that as well. But it's really important for us to not lose sight of the fact that there are dynamic, incredible young people all across our city and every neighborhood, and they deserve our love and support and our praise and our constant, persistent, positive presence. That's what this is all about. So with that, I'm happy to take your questions.
Thanks, Mayor. Alejandra and I will bring down the mic to the members of the media. 2 questions per reporters, and we'll kick it off with Mike Flannery.
I'd like to ask a question off topic.
Anybody? Any of you have any
on-topic?
on-topic questions? I think the answer is no. So we'll start with you, Mike.
All right. So, Madam Mayor, Willie Wilson, as you know, announced for mayor today, put $5 million in his campaign fund, and said, had a series of criticisms of you on the violence and on your style of governing. It's obviously going to be a full tilt campaign. Is the criticism he levels at you fair?
Well, I did not see Dr. Wilson's press conference, but I'll just say this. Look, it's that season. People are going to jump in. People are going to try to distinguish themselves. But what I'm going to do every single day is focus on doing the job that the people elected me to do. And part of that is making sure that we're focused on public safety, that we're focused on the pandemic, and that we're focused on truly equitable and inclusive economic development, in particular, as we have talked about today, making sure that we support our young people. I'm very comfortable with our record of accomplishment. There is that narrative that some like to perpetuate. But what I would say is look at the record of incredible success through a global pandemic, an economic meltdown, and all of the other challenges that we faced over the last 2 years. There'll be plenty of time for me to talk about that, but right now, I'm focused on making sure I do the job every single day that the people of this city elected me to do, and that is to lead.
Specifically, he said he would abolish the COVID vaccination mandate.
Well, I think there will be a lot of people who ask a lot of questions about that issue. I'm very comfortable with what we have done to try to keep people safe. And you got to lead by example. Every single court, every single arbitrator who has looked at this has said without qualification that it was our right as the employer to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to keep the workplace safe. And we've heard from our employees who are grateful because they don't want to come back to a workplace where they're not safe, where they don't know whether or not their neighbor has been fully vaccinated. No decisions that we've made over these last 2 years have been easy, but they have been guided by the data and the science, all in the interest of making sure that we save people's lives. And I hope is the biggest pandemic and public health challenge of our lifetime. So, as I said, there'll be plenty of time to talk about the politics. Right now, I'm focused on the people.
Thanks a lot, Mayor. Craig Wall, ABC 7.
Mayor, one of the things he said, particularly this morning, is that he voted for you in the runoff in 2019, but he said it was a mistake, quote, a hell of a mistake. Do you expect that this campaign is going to get ugly, and when will you formally announce your reelection plan?
Well, as I said, there'll be plenty of time for the politics, but right now all I'm focused on is doing my job of leading the city out of a pandemic and into economic prosperity.
And just did need to ask you about the continued problem with crime on the CTA. What is the city going to do to deal with this? Dr. Wilson saying he'd bring back, police on the CTA. But what is the city doing?
Well, as you well know, Craig, we put more resources from CPD uniform officers and more presence, and that's starting to see dividends. We're making the arrest, and the arrest hopefully themselves will be a deterrent. In addition to that, the Chicago Transit Authority Board approved doubling of the non-law enforcement resources that are on the CTA, and we would ask, and I think this is happening, that riders, when they see something, to say something and report any kind of criminal activity. We literally can have zero tolerance for any kind of criminal activity on the CTA, and we'll be very aggressive in enforcing that as we have been.
Damon Bradley, WGN.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi there.
Willie Wilson won 13 wards during the general election, 11% of the vote that he got.
You're talking about the first election.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes,
okay.
The first election. This morning he appeared with various members of the clergy, pastors from across the city. Why do you think black people support him so strongly?
Well, I don't know that assumption is correct. And as I said, there'll be plenty of time for us to talk about the politics of this. But what I'll say is this. There has not ever been a mayor in the city's history who's invested as much as my administration has in majority black wards, starting with our signature economic development plan, which is Invest Southwest. You know this as well as people across black Chicago. These neighborhoods have been starved for resources for decades. And when you starve people of opportunity, you starve them of hope. And that's why from day one, while I ran, when I came in the door, what I've been about is making sure that we correct decades of disinvestment in black and brown neighborhoods across the city. Now, there are some people who think that's a bad thing. They want their city back. They being the people who profited from resources being clustered among a clouded few, but not reaching out to neighborhoods like this one. I make no apologies, and in fact, I say unequivocally, we cannot be a great global city if we starve our neighborhoods. The downtown is important. It is the heart that beats the blood into the rest of the city, but we can't move forward on any of the issues of the day, violence being chief among them. And Alderman Brookins said it right. If you don't create legitimate opportunities for employment and engagement in our neighborhoods, you are going to continue to see this constant, perpetual cycle of violence, as we have seen for decades. So we're on the right path. We are on the right path. And this is about the future of our city. This is about who we want to be coming out of this pandemic and whether or not we're going to bring everybody along, or whether or not we're going to return to the days when a few people got all the resources on the table and there was no room for anybody else. That's not the city that I want, and I don't think that's the city that the vast majority of residents want. They want a city that's fair. They want a city that includes them. They want to see that the policies that are coming out of the fifth floor and across our city are ones that reflect the reality of their lives. And that's what we have been about now for almost 3 years, and that's what we will continue to do. We will listen, we will collaborate, and we will be in partnership with all of our residents and not just the small, clouded few who feel like they should be the ones that dictate how city dollars are spent.
Wilson says before today's announcement, when it became clear what he was announcing, someone on your team reached out to him. Is that true? And obviously, given that Wilson is a man of vast financial wealth and seems to connect with people well, is there a different way that he could be helpful to the city of Chicago right now, given now that you're the mayor? How can he help you?
Well, look, I would say that there's lots of ways that lots of people, particularly people of means, could be helpful. But they've got to do it through a lens of being a public servant and not to serve themselves. So people ask me all the time, what can I do to help? Let's bring some money in to increase the number of summer job opportunities that we give to our young people. Let's bring some money in to make sure that parks and libraries and other places of important connection across our city have the resources that they need to scale up the opportunities that they are providing for residents on a regular basis. If there are plenty of really civic-minded people across our city who are rolling up their sleeves and giving of their time, their talent, their resources to do just that. So you judge people by what they do when people aren't looking, not by what they do when they see the spotlight on them.
Chris Ty, Channel 2, last questions of the day.
Speaking of the spotlight on them, Dr. Wilson had the spotlight on him in recent weeks and months with the gas giveaway. Mm-hmm. This morning he said that was not political pandering that he's given to folks in hurricane-ravaged Louisiana and in COVID-strapped California. I'm wondering how you, who days, weeks after he gave out those cards, you followed suit. How would you describe to the casual political observer whether this is political pandering as we're going through a gas spike, or how do you see what he did and your reaction to what he did?
Well, let me just correct one premise. I don't react to what other people do, other than the residents of our city. The gas prices were spiking way before this stuff happened. We thought about ways in which we can constructively provide relief for our residents. And we want to do it in a responsible way. in a way that's going to be impactful. And we've announced that a couple weeks back regarding both gas cards that people can get without having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and also in encouraging people who ride the CTA to provide them some relief as well. So we do what we do in response to what we know and see and hear from our residents. And our residents were telling us, and frankly, as blatantly obvious, when you see gas prices at $6 a gallon for regular, as they were, frankly, in many gas stations around the south side and on the north side and on the west side, it was obvious that relief needed to come, and that's what government should be about.
Thanks, Mayor. That's a wrap. Have a good one. Thanks.
Thank you all.